What's up, YouTube? So in this video, we're going to be talking about Jerome Baker, the Miami Dolphins linebacker. We have just re-signed him to a 3-year deal worth about $39 million. I think 28 of that is guaranteed. So I do want to kind of talk about him and watch a little bit of film on him. Kind of looking at some of his numbers throughout his career. He's been in the league for 3 years. And he has been pretty effective. I mean, if you watch the Dolphins at any level, really, you pretty much know who he is. Very high-flying linebacker, very athletic, and I think that that's just something that Brian Flores really values. So I think that's just really important to our defense. He definitely does have some issues with reading his keys and everything like that, and working himself out of position. But overall, he is still a very good player. So let's go ahead and get into the film. 55 right here. There. It's pretty good here on his part. Nothing crazy there to talk about. Okay, right here. So that is one thing I do like. A lot of times athletic linebackers are not very good at this, but he actually is good at dealing with trash. As you can see, he's got at least that right hand inside. He might be using the left hand to control the wrist. It's kind of hard to tell at the moment. Let me see if I can look at it from this view. Yep, yeah, right hand on the chest. His left hand is controlling that right wrist of the offensive lineman. This is going to allow him to disengage quickly when Pat Mahomes comes his way. And this is something I want him to do a little bit more. He's not immediately shedding this guy. He is keeping his eyes in the backfield, because right now they're doing kind of like a speed option type thing where Pat could pitch this off to the running back, and he's kind of keeping his eyes in the backfield so that he's in position to make either tackle. Sometimes he does work himself out of position with his athleticism, but this is a good example of doing exactly the thing I want him to do. Because Pat ends up keeping this, but let's say this guy ends up going for Pat and he ends up pitching it. The only other person in the area is a corner, and he's kind of going toward the sideline. So if he went straight to Pat, that could be bad. You know, I mean, he has the athleticism to recover a lot of times, but still. Okay. We blitz him? Nope. I love our defense. Alright, so let's look at the other view then. Right here. And he's gonna bail out. He's actually not too bad in coverage either. He's not like amazing at it, but he's pretty solid. He had nothing really to do on that play, so. That's good there. Overall, I do like the signing. I do. Where are we? He's on the edge. Okay. I think that's another thing that Brian Flores loves too. He just loves versatile players, and that is why the Javon Holland pick did make sense too. Even though he wasn't high on my board, me and Brian Flores like different things in players. And also one thing to consider too is that when I'm evaluating draft talent, I'm not just looking at them for the Dolphins. I'm looking at them in general. So Javon Holland on the Dolphins defense is very different than Javon Holland on, say, the Cowboys defense. You know what I'm saying? Brian Flores really likes versatile players. So it makes a little bit more sense. I'm still not in love with that pick, but I'm not mad at it. But it's the same thing with Jerome Baker here, because you've already seen him go sideline to sideline on different plays, you know, kind of dealing with trash. You've seen them make it look like he was going to rush up the middle, but they pulled him out in the zone. Now you've got him out on the edge. Doesn't really rush with much of a plan here. The good thing is he does get his hands inside, which is something I like. And he gives him a decent little push, but he doesn't really have another plan to disengage right there. Jerome Baker's blitzes mostly come from his athleticism. Okay. Sometimes it's good to look at this view first, either way, at least with linebackers, so we can at least see where he's lining up at. Let me get a better look at that. Yeah, okay, cover 3. Okay. I had to get a better look at what the DBs were doing. Yeah. That's just a hole in cover 3. That's just schematics right there. Because you've got your corner dropping back. You got both of your two corners and your safety dropping back. You've got another guy down here. But one of the places you can attack cover 3 is the sideline. That's pretty much where you want to hit it. But between the flat defender and the deep defender, you kind of want to hit him right here in the middle sideline. So that just kind of is what it is. One thing I will say is I would like to see Jerome Baker see this a little bit quicker. When you see Travis Kelce break out this way, especially with Pat Mahomes scrambling to his right, there's one thing to consider too is when a quarterback scrambles, he's either going to be running this way or he's going to throw it this way. Because especially at the NFL level, you rarely see quarterbacks throwing across their body the opposite direction of where they're running. You don't see that too often, so I would like to see the second Pat starts scrambling, I'd like to see Jerome kind of start trailing this way. And you do, to an extent, but I think he should have started going a little bit faster, because now he has to try to recover. But those are just kind of the small things. Like I said, very, very athletic, very versatile, pretty good at dealing with trash. It's just his mental processing that could definitely use some work. And to be fair, he still has only been in the league for 3 years. So those are things that could still improve as well. Right. That's actually pretty good. This is another moment of him dealing with trash well. Hands inside. Can't really tell what you did there. Let me, besides getting your hands inside, I can see that. Got both your hands inside. You're kind of holding him to see where the running back goes. If he goes outside, you need to disengage that way. If he comes inside, you got to disengage that way. So you don't want to over pursue. and you got to trust your guys. He does end up getting off the block a little bit late, but can't be perfect all the time. But he is fairly good at it. So this is not an extreme example, but this is kind of what I'm talking about. He is a little bit too quick to jump the gun. The second he sees something, he is so athletic. But I think he really depends on his athleticism and his ability to recover. Because the second he sees Le'Veon Bell start to run this way, he immediately goes to fill this gap. Where I would rather him kind of stay patient because he could go either of these directions. In fact, this is probably the better direction because I think that's Raekwon Davis is coming on the inside and he'll be on the opposite side of the center. So Raekwon would have to go through the center to make the tackle. Where we have sort of a victory starting here. I think that's with Seiler. But instead he kind of just rushes into that gap. And now it's sealed. And this gap opens up. Now luckily, Seiler was able to get off of his guy and get a hold of his ankle. Because otherwise he would have went straight through that gap. There was a flag, but I don't care. I don't really care about the flag. Alright, right here. He's not the subject matter at hand. But shout out to Van Ginkel here. This is Van Ginkel was a guy I was not a fan of us taking him at the time, but he has really, really improved. I didn't like him at first, but last year he really made a lot of steps in the right direction. That's fantastic. That's just high effort too. To not, there's a lot of defenders who right there they just got put on their face by a tight end. They look up and they see Christian Wilkins coming at him. He's like, he's pressured. I'll just slay here. But no, Van Ginkel not only pops up, but then also has the instincts and reaction time to get up and knock that ball down. He was actually trying to intercept it. But couldn't quite get it. But ends up being an easy layup to Byron. I know we're not talking about Van Ginkel here, but that was just a really good play. Oh. Whoops. That was a long drive. Right here. Nothing to break down on Jerome Baker's part. He's dropping back. Let's we're in something we don't do a lot. We're doing a little bit of a Tampa 2. So this is actually not really. I thought it was until I seen the corners follow him further. It's sort of like a cover 2, sort of a cover 4 disguised, because you've got the 2 deep safeties. You've got Jerome Baker, who's going to kind of fill this gap, because traditionally Tampa 2, you would have your 4. You'd have your 4 defensive linemen. You'd have your 2 corners kind of pressing them, and they would cover the flats. And then you have your 2 safeties deep. But the Tampa 2, something that Tony Dungy kind of founded, when you've got your 2 corners there, you've got 2 deep safeties, and you've got your linebackers here. This whole area of the field was just getting eaten up. So they started, just covering this area with just your 2 outside linebackers and dropping your Mike down here to kind of cover that spot. And it doesn't have to be the Mike. It can be any of the 3 linebackers. You just need 2 linebackers to cover this and 1 to cover this. And then you can do some blitzes with the 2 linebackers here as well. Nothing to break down on Jerome Baker's part there, really. Just some little X's and O's for you. Let's see where you're at. Okay, you're on the edge. Are you actually rushing? Yes, you are. Okay, cool. Let's see this whole rep. Nice. So that's kind of, I remember that. I remember that play now. Just not kind of recognizing who you're against right there. Who's chasing you? Yeah. So I think this is one of the more underrated parts of his game. Gets his hands inside. Love to see it. Not only that, but you're not allowing him to get his hands inside on you. Jerome Baker's also got some pretty long arms as well. And this is something I talked about quite a bit last year, is once you get your hands inside, what's next, right? You're kind of turning him slowly to be able to get to this side, and then he's going to let go of one hand and just kind of use his left hand to kind of create some distance between him and the offensive lineman. And then he's just going to swipe down that elbow to disengage. And then he's just going to chase down Pat. So again, he doesn't have like crazy pass rushing skills, but he's athletic and he's decent with his hands, which is how he deals with trash at the second level as well. So it's enough. That's a punt. Big drive for the Dolphins. Right here. So he trailed the running back. Yeah. Not much to really break down. Okay. Let me take a look at something. Never mind. He also doesn't always take the best of angles either. Especially if you know that Tyreek Hill is the one with the ball. You see him on an end around. You should immediately be taking a wide angle to go straight to that sideline. Where he kind of cuts inside. The second you see that it's Tyreek Hill, you see these blocks, you should immediately be going this way. So that's something I'd like to see improvement on too, is his angles. Like I said, he's got all the tools physically. It's just some of the mental things that I definitely think he still needs to work on. It just kind of is what it is. Hopefully McKinney can kind of help him with that, because McKinney is sort of the opposite at this point. He's not quite as athletic as he once was, but he does have the mental processing. So hopefully he can help. And even if not, at least we have that mental processing linebacker now, even if it is only on a one-year deal. Okay. Good. So it worked out this time, right? But again, I would like him to be a little bit more patient. Well, Travis Kelce also kind of climbed up to block him, so I don't know. This one's kind of different. Yeah, but I would have liked him to stay a little bit more patient, because he still could have cut back through this gap. Agba was kind of covering it, but still. Wasn't actually planning on talking about Jerome Baker this quickly. Okay, he's on the edge. But the signing kind of... Alright, man. Once you see Pat kind of scrambling out, and I need you to shed this running back quicker than that, bro. I'm gonna need you got your hands inside. Just pull clutch. Just pull that dude down. But still, good job getting your second sack of the game. And yes, I do know we lost this game. As far as breaking down Jerome Baker, I don't care. Let's actually go to a different game though. Perhaps to a game we won. Let's look at the Niners game. That's fun. Probably the most fun game we had last year. Let's find a decent drive for the Niners. How long have I been recording? Okay. Right here. And that's one thing that kind of hurt us too last year. Jerome Baker and Landon Roberts both had mental processing problems. So that kind of hurt us, having both of them like that. Yeah. It looks like Landon Roberts was on a straight up blitz there. But yeah. But let's take a look at Jerome. See, this is much better. He's staying behind the D lineman, and he is reading the backfield, like I said I wanted him to do. He does end up getting blocked, but staying patient like I want him to anyway. Let's look at the other angle. Right here. I'd like you to see that a little bit quicker. Good job. It didn't work, but good job getting your hand up trying to block that. On the edge. Probably not going to watch much of this game. I think we've pretty much covered him, and I've talked about him quite a bit. But right there is also just more of that versatility. They're making it look like he's rushing. This is something that Miami did with all their linebackers and linemen last year, was make it look like they're going to rush and then bail them out. But look at how quickly he backpedals. That's just versatility right there. We already seen that he does have some pass rushing skills. It's pretty cool. Nice. He's seen this one pretty well. And that's the thing, too. All the issues that I have with him, I've seen him do those things well sometimes. He just needs to pull it together and be more consistent with his mental processing. If he does that, we'll be good to go. And like I said, he has only been in the league for 3 years. But it is still an issue. Probably just watch this drive. I can't see him here. Okay, he's on the outside. Yeah, not much for him to do there. Yeah, they had gone for it on 4th. Yeah, I think that's probably enough. I think I've done a pretty good job covering what I wanted to cover. So yeah. Anyway, if you like this video, I'd appreciate hitting that like button. If you have any questions or comments, leave that comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys. So pretty much every YouTuber on this platform is pretty much doing ads like this. YouTube's ad revenue is broken. It doesn't really pay well anymore, so we have to look to outside sources to make our income. And if you like what I'm doing and you want to support me, I would greatly appreciate you going over to my Patreon. It doesn't take much. Just $1 a month would really help me out quite a bit and continue to help me be able to put out these videos, because I put a lot of time and effort into it, especially during draft season, watching the film and everything like that. So I would greatly appreciate you guys going to check out my Patreon. It is Anime Dolphin, no capitalization. The link to it will be in the description of this video and pretty much every video moving forward. So yeah, if you want to help support me, that'd be greatly appreciated. There's multiple different tiers. It's all explained well on my Patreon account. And if you want to check that out, it would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.